What is up, Dynasty Leaguers? Welcome back into another DLF YouTube channel video. Today is the final rookie mock draft that I have going out before this Memorial Day weekend, where it seems like a lot of you guys are doing your rookie mock drafts. So good luck. I'm super excited for all of you guys to finally get those going and have fun drafting these rookies. I've already completed, I believe, 3 rookie mocks this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Those videos dropped. And then this is the final one today on Friday before we continue doing them potentially twice a week moving forward throughout the rest of June and into July, potentially, just as how it's playing out to be right now. But this one's coming in to us from Mikey Rich down in the comments. So thank you, Mikey. We're going to be drafting from your draft picks using your roster in your league. It's another just a pretty simple Superflex league this time. And we got 3 first-round picks that we need to talk about here and some moves that we could potentially be making. So let's get into the video. So like I said at the beginning, this one comes to us from Mikey down in the comment section. So thank you, Mikey, for offering up your team and your roster, your draft picks, for us to be able to go through this mock today. Let's look at this league here. Like I said, it's a pretty simple, just normal 12-team half PPR Superflex league. You start 1 quarterback and the Superflex. You got 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and an additional just a regular flex as your starting lineup roster requirements. Looking at his roster, he's got Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, Mitch Trubisky as his quarterbacks, Chris Carson, Darrell Henderson, and Damian Harris as his running backs, so needs a little bit of help there. Wide receivers looking pretty strong. He's got DK Metcalf, Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, Robbie Anderson, and then Mike Williams, Denzel Mims, and Anthony Miller as backups. And then at tight end, also a pretty good core: Mark Andrews, Hunter Henry, and Adam Troutman. So I like the team. I like where it's heading to. We got a couple positions that we could fill. I'm specifically looking at the quarterback and the running back position as his most needy holes on this team. But we got 3 first-round picks to address those positional holes that we can talk about here. So looking at his draft board, he's got the 1.02, the 1.03, and the 1.09, and then the 308 and the 4.05 for some dart throws at the end of the draft here. But this one should be pretty fun. We got some moves that we could potentially make here, and we can just go ahead and start the draft because 1.01 Trevor Lawrence done. So we have 1.02 here. 1.02 for me, I feel like this one is where you should just solidify that quarterback position, insert another quarterback in there as a QB3 with QB2 potential upside, depending on how Daniel Jones actually pans out with Kenny Golladay in 2021 and beyond. If he actually turns into some semblance of a pretty decent fantasy quarterback, or if he kind of flames out, like how Sam Darnold and other quarterbacks have in the past. So to insulate yourself in case that were to happen, I would take a quarterback here. My personal quarterback too is Trey Lance. That could be Justin Fields for you. Don't really have an argument over one way or another. I trust Lance a little bit more because of the situation, the offense, and the head coach that he has over Justin Fields in Chicago. So I take Trey Lance as the tiebreaker over Justin Fields as my quarterback too. And I like adding him to this squad here because now you have Kirk Cousins and Daniel Jones are probably going to start for you. You give Trey Lance a little bit of time in 2021 to, not only just to see the field, but also to get going in that Niners offense. And he becomes a guy in 2021 that you don't need to play because you can play Daniel Jones and Kirk Cousins and then add Trey Lance into your Superflex during bye weeks and stuff. And then hopefully the hope is that Trey Lance actually can grow into becoming, an actual QB1 in fantasy football with the rushing upside. I like having Trey Lance and adding him to this roster here to insulate yourself for future, possibilities with Daniel Jones and maybe Kirk Cousins as well, but also adding a QB3 that you can play on bye weeks and in case of injuries and whatnot, just further insulating yourself in Superflex. So that's my pick at the 1.02. 1.03 here, we have, some different directions that we can potentially go. The first one that I would like to mention is you could potentially try to trade back from this just to pick up some additional draft capital. This was something that I advised for a team previously this week, where if you can move back from maybe the 103 down a couple spots to maybe the 4, 5, or 6, pick up additional draft capital maybe in the second round that you don't have any second round picks. So if you can grab something maybe in this same, top of the second round range and then drop back to 4, 5, or 6 or something like that, that could be a pretty smart move and something that I would advise under the right circumstances and stuff if you're able to do that, just adding more shots in this draft class. If you're not able to do that, then we have to make a pick at this 1.03. And you could potentially, double down on quarterbacks. That's a realistic move that could go down to, like I said, the insulation word. I say that a lot, but like just to insulate yourself against any possibility at the quarterback position. Doubling down on the quarterbacks gives you 2 shots in this draft class at potential, perennial QB1 upside. If not, both of those guys in Trey Lance and my other pick at quarterback would be Justin Fields. Both those guys potentially being, perennial quarterback ones in fantasy football with rushing upside and solid passing upside as well. So you could definitely do that. You could go the Kyle Pitts route just to, for that value for the ADP boost that he's going to get when Julio Jones leaves, the potential production you're going to get at a onesie position at the tight end position, that could be, league breaking and kind of just overall a huge boost to any roster to have a top 3, league changing type of a tight end. That could be what you do and what you get in Kyle Pitts, but you already have Mark Andrews and Hunter Henry. So that might not be necessarily a huge need for you. Jamar Chase would be another one too, adding to the wide receiver depth, but you're already pretty good. You got DK Metcalf, Mike Evans, and Terry McLaurin. So you could go the Jamar Chase route if you really, really like Chase. Personally, what I would probably do here, looking at the rest of your roster, I really like that you could potentially be competing in 2021 if you're adding Trey Lance, and then you add in at this 1.03 here Najee Harris, adding a guy being viewed by a lot of people as a top 15 running back in redraft, so in 2021, and then also potentially giving you 4 or 5 solid years of high RB2 potential RB1 upside in that Pittsburgh Steelers offense for the rest of his rookie contract. And yeah, he's an older player, 23 years old right now, but if he plays out his rookie contract, that's about all we can expect out of a lot of running backs anyway, to get to 27, 28 years old. And it's not like he's coming into the NFL with a lot of tread on the tires. And you could see kind of like a Derrick Henry kind of situation here where Henry's still chugging along at 27 years old. We don't really expect that to change all too much, even though we know that running backs can just fall off a cliff without any real warning. That could be, Najee Harris's same career path where you're 23, 24, 25, 26. You get 3 or 4, RB2, RB1 type seasons from Najee Harris. And I like that a lot. And I like that opportunity in adding Najee Harris here that bumps him into your RB1 or RB2 slot, pairing him with Chris Carson. Those are your 2 running backs every single week outside of injuries and bye weeks. And I like that opportunity a lot. And especially because we can talk about who you're taking at the 1.09 here to pair with Najee Harris. And the way that I would be looking to go for it would be either Travis Etienne or Javonte Williams. So here, Javonte Williams fell to me. That's probably what I would expect because of Kyle Pitts, Justin Fields, Jamar Chase, Zach Wilson, and then whoever the 1.08 picks between Etienne, Javonte Williams, or maybe he takes a shot on one of the wide receivers. But I would take Travis Etienne if Etienne was still there. I would take Javonte Williams if Etienne is not there. So just because of this draft, you get Javonte Williams. Again, adding another running back to this depth chart, adding a potential guy that you can plug and play during bye weeks, like I said, whenever Najee Harris and Chris Carson potentially are, injured or on bye weeks, you can add Javonte Williams as a solid, flex type of a running back with RB2 upside, and at least in year 1 in the Denver Broncos offense. Not even to mention what you could potentially get in him moving forward, starting in 2022 and beyond. Melvin Gordon, I don't expect to be there after this year. And then, what even if happens if Aaron Rodgers gets traded to Denver, like that could be a really huge boost to that whole entire team and a major boost to Javonte Williams as well. I'm not drafting Javonte Williams because I expect Aaron Rodgers to go there, but that's just like an additional cherry on top onto what he already offers as a huge major boost for you there. So I really, really like pairing Najee Harris and Javonte Williams. That was actually kind of my plan coming into this with these 3 first-round picks, grabbing Trey Lance, Najee Harris, and grabbing Javonte Williams at the 1.09, and that's exactly how this draft played out. And I really, really like it for this team and for your roster, Mikey. So we're up again, 3.08, and then we had the 4.05, just some 2 dart throw players that we could throw in here. Man, Elijah Mitchell it's just my pick every single time, just to go in Elijah Mitchell in this late 3rd or 4th round range if he's still there. You could also, go the route of adding to your wide receiver depth in terms of going Josh Palmer, or potentially Dwayne Eskridge, grabbing some draft capital in the 2nd or 3rd rounds for some of these players. Rhamondre Stevenson would probably also be a really good pick here. And then Elijah Mitchell, my boy. So I'm going to go and stay consistent with what I've done in the past. And at least before taking Elijah Mitchell, I'm going to take the shot on Rhamondre Stevenson. And I've mentioned before, but I'll say it again. He's already pushing Sony Michel potentially off the roster. There's been a lot of buzz saying that Rhamondre Stevenson, they drafted him to, replace Sony Michel. So now the Patriots are going into the 2021 season with Damian Harris, Rhamondre Stevenson, and James White. You already have Damian Harris on your roster, but I think that's all right because now you have, that whole backfield on lock. I expect Damian Harris to get the bulk of, the 1st and 2nd down work, with James White playing the PPR 3rd down back role as he always has. But if anything should happen to Damian Harris, you got Rhamondre Stevenson coming right into that fold, right into the back of your roster and stuff like that. So I really, really like that. And just having that opportunity to pair both of them, as well as a player that I think could potentially see, double-digit touchdowns if he gets the start and gets, a full 16, 17 games down the line. That's just a big body, double-digit type of a back for touchdowns and stuff. So Rhamondre Stevenson there at 3.08. And guess what happened? My boy Elijah Mitchell coming back to me at the 4.05. You love to see it. So I'm going to take Elijah Mitchell just to stay consistent with me personally, but also a guy that, Jeff Wilson is out for 4 to 6 months. Elijah Mitchell just climbed the depth chart one more time. So it could potentially be that Elijah Mitchell comes in as like a Jarrett McKinnon type of a role in this offense. And Raheem Mostert has shown that he can't really stay healthy. They also have Wayne Gallman, who I expect to make the roster now too, because of Jeff Wilson being hurt. So it's really now, Raheem Mostert. Whenever Raheem Mostert goes down, it's Trey Sermon and Wayne Gallman, and then Elijah Mitchell plays in my opinion, a pretty decent 3rd down PPR type of a running back role as a pass catcher in that offense. And should anything else happen, we're in the end of May, and running backs are already getting hurt. So who knows what happens down the road in training camp, in preseason, in the actual season. Elijah Mitchell to me is just a slam dunk type of a player that I want to take a shot on, throw a dart on, and hope something happens down the line. And also, I actually believe in the player as well. I actually think that he is one of the best running backs on that roster. I think he's better than Trey Sermon. And I think he has a lot more upside than we've seen over guys like Raheem Mostert and Wayne Gallman as well. He just needs that opportunity to get on the field and show what he can do. And he's already impressing people in the San Francisco 49ers rookie minicamp and stuff. So I really, really like to hear that. And I like grabbing Elijah Mitchell there at the 4.05. So that's going to do it. This was not as long of a video here. We only had 5 picks to actually go through, but we had some solid discussion and strategy to talk through. Trey Lance going at the 1.02. Again, insulating the quarterback position for you there, Mikey, to add to Kirk Cousins, and then Daniel Jones. Then the name of the game for basically just for me, but also I think of how a lot of these drafts are going just based on where these 1st round picks are and where some of these later round picks are, is running backs. And, with only really Chris Carson on your team, and then just shot on whatever Darrell Henderson and Damian Harris are, you add in Najee Harris, Javonte Williams, Rhamondre Stevenson, and Elijah Mitchell. I think that is phenomenal running back depth to add to already a good wide receiver depth in DK Metcalf, Mike Evans, and Terry McLaurin. And then your tight ends are good as well. You got Mark Andrews and Hunter Henry as a backup, and then the shot on whatever Adam Troutman is. So I like adding the pieces that we were able to add here in this rookie draft to a team that I already think could be heading in the right direction and already is heading in the right direction and could potentially be making a push in 2021 to compete. And then, you got 2022 and 2023 to continue to build this up, see where you're at, and keep it moving here. But I really, really like what we were able to do through this mock draft. So I hope this one helped you out, Mikey. with what you're planning on doing or planning on doing in your rookie draft. Maybe it confirmed some stuff. Maybe it changed a little bit of some of your thinking. But that's ultimately what I would like to do for you if I were you in your league with your roster. So thank you, Mikey, for the rookie draft, for giving us your roster and everything to be able to do this. Thank you to everybody else out there that tuned in and watched. This has been really fun for me to do this for teams that are coming in, and we got even more, like I said at the beginning, coming in down the line, potentially 2 or 3 a week. So this is really fun, adding some additional context to all of the rookie drafts that we're doing and not just picking players over another. Oh, I would like to mention as well, I'm wearing a new t-shirt today. Usually I'm wearing black. That's just my entire wardrobe is a black t-shirt, but it's all mainly fantasy related. But this one is a new DLF t-shirt that I acquired from the website FFThreads.com. I'll put the link down in the description, but I just got an order and a shipment in of some new swag and stuff from DLF football. So it's all DLF swag. You can see here, this is what it looks like. And it shrunk a little bit in the wash, but it's super comfortable. It's one of the softest shirts I own, up there with like RotoWear quality and stuff. If you buy Scott Fishbowl shirts or other RotoWear shirts, this quality is very similar. I love it a lot. So if you want to support DLF and rep some DLF gear, like where this hat came from, this hat that's back there, yeah, I haven't worn it yet, but it's just hanging up. That's a DLF hat with the same blue and black with the DLF logo. This t-shirt, I got another t-shirt as well. There's a whole bunch of other shirts, gear, all that stuff on FFthreads.com. So go check it out if you want some pretty awesome DLF swag. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. With that all being said, guys, we'll catch y'all later.